Hey there, Alex Rabbit Gaming with another guide for Black Myth Wukong. Fellow potato gamers of the world, it is time to unite and defeat the Great Sage's Broken Shell, the final boss of the game. This is a tough fight, but I think I found a very decent strategy that will definitely help you in case you're struggling. I'll go for every detail: gear, curios, vessels, spirits, gourds and drinks and pails and stat points, everything you need to know to defeat this guy. So let's jump straight into the guide. For the gear, I'm sticking with the Jingubang Mythical staff, mainly because of its ability to use 4 focus points. With the constant evading that you'll be doing during this fight, you'll constantly get to the 4th focus point and hit the shell for some massive damage. Pretty useful. And as a nice extra benefit, those perks you get by equipping the whole set plus the Jinguban staff definitely help during the fight. For the vessel, I'm using the Plantain Fan that you obtain at the end of Chapter 5, and this is without a doubt the best option available, as it will grant you a few seconds of free hits to the shell. Not all of them will land, but if you keep with the combo, those light attack finishers can deal some good critical damage, especially if you have plenty of stat points for your critical hit chance. You'll get 2 chances to use the vessel during the fight, so be sure to use it as early as you can to make the most out of it later on. My go-to spirit throughout the game has been the Wandering Wight. Who would have thought that the very first spirit that you can get in the game would be the goat? Here I fully upgraded it and I have to say, just look at that damage. Absolutely beautiful. Just be careful when you cast it because the shell moves a lot all over the place and you can miss it very easily. Moving on with the Curios, I use the Agate Jar to moderately increase my defense. This one can be found during Chapter 1 after defeating the Black Wind in its human form. Up next is the Jade Moon Rabbit to slightly increase damage reduction. This is dropped by your friend the Boar after defeating him in Chapter 4. Finally, the Gold Sun Crow slightly increases the damage bonus and works in tandem with the Jade Moon Rabbit for an enhanced effect. This one is located inside a chest in the secret area of Chapter 4 near the village entrance. If you need a guide to know how to get there, please take a look at this video. Let's continue with the gourd. I'm using the legendary Medicine Buddha gourd, which is basically the gourd you start with, upgraded almost to the max. In case you didn't know you could do this, just give Shen Monkey enough Luigi Frisian Vines and he'll upgrade it for you. As for the drinks and soaks, I think that the only one that actually made a difference for me was the V Mountain Stone. This little wonder grants a considerable chance to take a sip without consuming the gourd. That's free healing for you, and it triggers quite often. Invaluable for potato players like me. You can find it in Chapter 4 after you're saved from the spider. The more uses for your gore you have, the better, because the shell has a very unfair move. If he sees you using your gourd many times, he'll then paralyze you as you're about to take a sip, snatch your gourd and chug it to recover some health. The level of disrespect in this fight, man, is over 9,000, I swear. But hang on tight, I'll give you a tip to avoid that later in the video. I rarely use spells, but for this fight I used one that proved very useful once I nailed all the movements and had a real opportunity to defeat this guy. And that is the Mirage Pill. This will help you to get enough might for you to transform again and come in clutch to snatch victory. Especially with my recommended transformation, the Yin Tiger, but more on that in a moment. As for all of the sparks that I used, I have to say that most of them were placed in the abilities category. A lot of it went to stamina because this fight is all about dodging. And the last node on the skill tree is especially beneficial as it will allow you to leave an illusion that explodes every time you nail a perfect dodge. And the thing with this fight is that you're not the main protagonist, the shell is. At least that's how it feels because you barely have the opportunity to attack. So if you're going to spend that much time dodging, then the least you can get out of it is some cheap damage to the boss. And believe me, it all adds up in the end. It really helps you in the long run. Back to the skill trees. I spent some extra sparks in the martial arts just to perform some basic combos, and the rest in maxing as many survival stats as I could. Health, critical hit chance, defense, critical hit damage, and attack were my priority, and whatever was left went to mana. If you haven't considered upgrading this, do it. You'll notice the difference right away. For the staff stances, I have to admit that I am pretty dumb, and I stay with the smash stance all the game. But I wouldn't invest that much on this due to little to no attack opportunities that you'll have during this fight unless you're a master on seeing through, which is actually pretty difficult, so not too many sparks to invest here. Regarding spells, I tried different options but I ended using only the Cloud Step, the Banana Gang, and my transformation. I ignored the Immobilize because the shell will constantly break the spell after the first time you use it, so it's basically useless. The same kinda goes for the Banana Gang. The shell is so mobile and so fast that your monkey clones will have a hard time keeping up and actually doing some damage. So instead I did the following. I invested 2 sparks in Cloud Step to increase the critical hit chance of unveiling strike with every second while in Cloud Step. And to be honest, this works great because every time I was in serious trouble and I didn't want to risk the shell stealing my gourd, I would perform Cloud Step and be safe to drink or to catch my breath. Extremely useful. And finally, I invested a bunch of sparks in Hidden Might and Ferocious Form to increase the might available and damage from my transformation, and I gotta say, this worked like a charm. The transformation I'm using is the Yin Tiger, a tank that can withstand any attack from Wukong. Once you transform, you can perform a stance that absorbs all incoming damage and channels it to your sword, similar to what happens with your focus points. Once you've had enough power gathered, release it with a heavy smash and you'll do massive damage. It is that simple. The only problem that I can see is that to get this transformation, you'll have to defeat the Yin Tiger who's hidden in a secret area, and to reach that location, you first need to complete the Chen Lung side quest. If you haven't met Chen Lung, he's a Yaowai found in Chapter 3. As soon as you disembark from the giant turtle, take the path to the left until you see some cabins by a frozen lake where Chen Lung will be walking. Defeat him and he'll ask you to help him by bringing some medicine from Shoe Dog, the fox you met back in Chapter 2. In case you haven't completed that side quest, here's a guide for you. Go to Shoe Dog, talk to him, and he'll give you the pill for Chen Lung. Go back to Chen Lung and deliver the medicine, and as a reward, the dragon will hand you a scroll that will teleport you to the Zodiac Village, which is basically a hub for all your friendly NPCs to live in. There, if you take the path to the left and go all the way back, you'll find the Yin Tiger. He's a blacksmith that can perform upgrades for your armor and weapons, as well as unlocking a third Curios slot for you to use. But he also has an additional option that allows you to challenge him. It's a very decent fight, but if you bask him, you'll gain the spell that allows you to transform into him. Believe me, it is worth every penny the time that you are investing in trying to get this guy on your side. This is one of the best defensive transformations in the game and works perfectly against the shell. And that's basically it. That's all the advice that I can give you for defeating the Great Sage's Broken Shell. Remember to study his movements so you can have better chances against his attacks, be very patient, and share any additional strategies with the Wukong community here in the comments. Be sure to check out more Black Myth Wukong videos that will be uploading to his playlist right here as I progress through the game. But for now, I hope this was useful, thank you for watching, and keep enjoying the game.